Valve has just done something absolutely insane to skins. And by absolutely insane, I mean a tiny unannounced change that's got everyone freaking out in multiple different ways and has caused parts of the market to explode, like usual. So what's currently causing the skin economy to go nuts? Well, let's get into things. Now, this video is sponsored by Skinsmonkey, the trading site where you can quickly and easily trade your skins. Just log in, add your trade link, and you are good to go. All you have to do is select the items you want and hit the trade button. There's over 150,000 items to choose from, and if you use my code Heyzeus, you can get up to $5 off your first trade. And even if you're not interested in trading, the site holds free, daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways that you can enter completely for free. It's a great site, check it out, link is in the description. So, one of the biggest topics in CS skins over the past few years has been cases. Without complicating the topic too much, basically two things have been happening. On one hand, cases have been getting more and more expensive as Valve slowly tightens the supply and we open all of them. On the other hand, for a variety of reasons, people have been speculating that cases might be about to be deleted. It's in this context of mad stonks, but also the world is possibly about to end, that Valve has just made another change. It's probably just a single line of code, they didn't announce it, and it's not even something they publicly acknowledge as being a thing in the first place. But nonetheless, the community figured it out within a day and everyone started to go nuts. So what is it exactly? Well, basically, when a case gets discontinued in Counter-Strike, it doesn't 100% vanish. Instead, it goes to something called the rare drop pool. 1% of all cases dropped in CS come from the rare drop pool, and most of the cases in the game are part of it. And because of this drop pool, when you get a drop, it has a 0.025% chance of being a weapon case 1. Juicy. Or at least, that's how things were until about a day ago, because Valve just went in and removed this feature. Now, Valve didn't announce they'd done this. In fact, they don't even acknowledge that rare drops are a thing. But it was spotted very, very quickly by case farmers, and like every single small change to skins these days, the community immediately responded by freaking out and panic buying stuff, because that's just how skins work at the moment. Now, when this first happened, I wasn't quite sure how far this hype was going to go, because some of it is stupid and really shouldn't be happening. But as it turns out, pretty much every case has gone up in price. At the high end, stuff like Prismas, Spectrums, and Chromas have gone up a lot, and down the other end, stuff like the glove case hasn't really budged. Probably because that one is already really fucking expensive. Now, don't get confused. This update does matter. Just because I'm saying some of these price increases are stupid doesn't mean losing the rare drop pool isn't going to have an impact. But most of the cases here really shouldn't be affected. You see, each rare case in the game was being dropped roughly 15 to 20,000 times per month. And that may sound like a lot, but it's actually fucking nothing. For example, if we look at the Prisma case, the case that went up in price the most, according to the case tracker, it is opened about 400,000 times per month. Losing 15 to 20k of drops per month just isn't going to have a big impact on its supply. This price increase is just hype, confused hype. And the same goes for a lot of the other cases that have gone up as well. If we're opening something at 10 times the rate it's being dropped, well, losing the drops isn't going to matter that much. However, there are also some massive exceptions. There are quite a few very expensive, very famous cases that are basically only opened 15 to 20,000 times per month. In particular, stuff like the Hydra case, the Bravo case, the weapon cases, and even stuff like the Winter Offensive case are opened at rates around this level. And because they're open so little, rare drops are enough to basically keep the supply of them stable. Except now, those rare drops are gone, and the effect of this is going to be massive. You see, the prices on a lot of these cases haven't actually been moving much lately, like the Bravo case, the Weapon Case 2, the Winter Offensive case. They haven't really gone up in price very much over the last 2 years. But now that their supply is fucked, they are probably going to start going up again fast because we're going to run out. And when it comes to stuff like the Weapon Case 1, which had already gone up in price a ton anyway, well, this thing is probably going to be completely insane in a couple of years because there just won't be any left. And because these are some of the most famous cases in CS2, when their prices start skyrocketing, it is going to be a big deal. People are going to notice when the Weapon Case 1 is suddenly $500. And because of that, this tiny little update is actually a pretty big change. But some of these other price increases definitely don't make a lot of sense. I guess if people think something is going to be rarer though, it will end up more expensive anyway. But I don't know if what we're seeing here is going to stick. But prices aside, we've also got to consider something else quite important, and that's why Valve has actually done this in the first place. As I said, there has been a lot of speculation that Valve might be going to remove cases. We've had stuff like the terminal added, other cases removed, and the EU is currently breathing down Valve's neck. So naturally, people have been thinking that Valve may want to get rid of these things. And removing rare drops could fit in that. It could be a baby step in the long process of phasing cases out of the game. Now, obviously, I can't prove this idea is wrong. It is certainly a possibility. However, I am kind of inclined to see this update a different way. You see, Counter-Strike currently has a major problem with bots farming cases, and even though rare drops are only 1% of total drops, it is still a non-trivial percentage of the money the case farmers are making. And this is a problem that's been getting extra attention recently as well. The guy who blocked me on Twitter, for example, has been making content about it. And there's also been some statements from former Valve developers which are not really favourable at all to the idea of people running these case farms. And while removing the rare drops won't stop these case farmers, it is going to take a chunk out of their profits, which is not as good as banning them, but it is better than nothing. Either way though, I will be careful reading too much into this update. We just don't know the reasons behind it, and it may not be a huge deal. However, long term, the impact on certain cases is going to be massive. And thank God I got that AK case hardened recently, because I don't think I'm opening too many more of that case. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe, massively appreciated. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.